Hi, I'm Marshie, and welcome to Marshie's Inspired Studio. If this is your first time, welcome. So, as you know, we have lost one of the breath of sunshine in our lives, Dolly Parton. And I just felt like I needed to get on here and say something about it because all day today I have been reflecting on Dolly Parton and what her music has meant to me. So tell me, when do you remember seeing Dolly? For me, it was on the Grand Ole Opry, right? This channel's about middle aged women. So we have kind of the gamut here. Maybe you remember her from the movie 9 to 5 or uh, some other movie or a concert. Put it in the comments below. Let's support each other because that's what she would want. So Dolly Parton is gone, and it is sad. But you know what? She went out like a flame. She never stopped. She just kept on going. Man, isn't that something to aspire to? Um, but I don't think the world is quite actually losing her because I think for years she's been thinking about making this autobiographical movie. She has something that I can't wait for it to come out that she hid like in a box, a song dedicated to her fans for when she died. Now, I don't know when that's going to come out, but I'm interested. I'm interested to see because I know it's going to pull all the heartstrings, right? Um, what Dolly Parton meant to women in our generation to stand up for making less money, to stand up for the sexual harassment, to stand up, that it's okay to have a voice. It is okay to hurt and to love, to care. Oh my goodness, to accept all the people, right? Um, so many milestones in my life, like Jolene and I Will Always Love You, come to mind for me and some relationships of mine. Um, He's Still Alive is like one of my all time favorites. For my funeral, I want one of her songs, The Sweet By and By, basically, right? Um, what song is your favorite of Dolly Parton? Put it in the comments below. Um, so, what did she teach us? She taught us to have humor. She taught us to be smart. Let the men think what they're going to think, right? Um, she was kind. She was caring in everything that she did. And she collaborated with artists. She wrote songs. She loved children. She loved her community. She loved her family. She paid back into the community. Um, Dolly taught us that where you start doesn't determine where you end up, right? She came from very humble beginnings, the coat of many colors. That song always strikes a chord with me. When I was in elementary school, my mom, I had one of those sweatshirts that zipped up with a hoodie, right? And she embroidered my initials on it because you might remember Laverne and Shirley, and Laverne had the L. Well, my mom made me an M. And I'll never forget it. And every time I think about that, I think of the coat of many colors. And of course, it brings tears to my eyes because it mattered. Her music touched so many different aspects of my life, from being a child to being in college to being married and getting divorced. I mean, being cheated on. You know? So, I mean, share with us in the comments if her music resonated with you. Just know that if you are in transition, right? We're going through midlife. Obviously, we're transitioning. Your life is not over. It is just starting. And you need to take those risks and dream big. Dream as big as you can dream and ask God, right? Because we have not, because we ask not. And I don't know about you, but I always thought of Dolly as an angel. Like she was this angel down here for us folks, right? To give us hope and a glimpse of the light of what we're going to see at the end. She proved you don't have to change who you are to succeed. Meaning, stay authentic, stay true to yourself. Don't bend, right? She embraced her femininity. She embraced her humor and her faith. She never backed down on her faith, her intelligence, and her personality. When people tried to squish her and try to put her in this little box, she said, no, ain't happening. And I can relate to that, ladies. I really can. She built a business and a career around being authentically Dolly. She called the shots. She did what she wanted. And you don't get to that level of success by just conforming and being mediocrity. You don't. You just don't. And thirdly, her greatest legacy may not be her music. It may be the lives she touched. You know, she got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and she was like, how did I get in here? Right? And she wasn't satisfied with that. So she had to go make a rock and roll album. And on one of those songs, Don't Make Me Come Down There. Don't make me come down there. If you haven't heard it, it's awesome. Dolly, you know, touched so many children's lives by the Imagination Library. Think about how many kids might not have been able to read without her books. That's incredible. That's a legacy. And, you know, I talk about in 13 interactive challenges to self-discovery. The last challenge is legacy. You know, the whole challenge 13, legacy. Why? Legacy isn't all about money. It could be planting a tree. It could be leaving this book, telling an autobiographical account of your life to someone and leaving it special to them. That's huge, right? She invested in her community. For Whitney Houston, that I always love you, right? She took that money and she went and put money into the Black community in Tennessee. So she invested all of her royalties, maybe not all of it because I don't know her finances, but a big chunk of it she put towards that community, which is huge, right? Her legacy is bigger than her music. It's how she made us feel. She made us feel seen. And if you agree with me, do a thumbs up in the comment. And I'd like to end with this. Dolly spent her whole life giving, giving, giving. and telling folks and encouraging folks to dream bigger, to give them permission to dream bigger. You can come from the most humble beginnings and be big. Now, understand success is different for each person, but you have to work on these 6 inches up here and believe and ask the Lord and dream big, right? Dream big so he can do his miracles. Have you wondered why you don't have a miracle in your life? It's because you haven't asked for bigger things. Okay. I can't emphasize that enough. Do I hear an amen? I'm not a preacher by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm not perfect. But the word tells us to ask. So, as we say goodbye to Dolly, right? You have the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. You have the queen of music, right? That went across all genres, Dolly Parton, a true queen, a true breath of the light and breath. Boom, 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 boom. Angel, just like an angel. I don't know any other way to put it. And it is a sad day that she left us, but she left us with so much, so much. I just, over her career, from me being a little tight all the way to being here in my 50s, I grew up with her. And so I only felt it was fitting to bring you a video. Please comment, share, and like, and tell me your favorite song. Tell me your favorite memory of Dolly Parton. Mwah. Be blessed. Bye bye.